Oh hi. The Republic of Mozambique, the state in Southeast Africa, the former Portuguese colony, the independent state since 1975. Mozambique is located on the coast of the Indian Ocean. The republic borders on Tanzania in the north, Malawi and Zambia in the northwest, Zimbabwe in the west on Eswatini and the Republic of South Africa in the south. State Party of the British Commonwealth of Nations, Commonwealth of the Portuguese-speaking countries and Countries Act. In spite of the fact that the number of Muslims in Mozambique is less than 1/5 population. About 17.9%. The Muslim revolt, which purposes transformation of Mozambique into the Islamic State, operated according to laws of Sharia, is developed in the country now. The toponym Mozambique comes from a name of the local Sultan Musa bin Bik ruling on the island at the northeast coast of the modern territory of the country. In 1498 on the island Portuguese landed and called the island by name the Sultan. Subsequently this name received the settlement on the island, and then it extended all over the country. The territory of Mozambique stretches along the coast of the Indian Ocean approximately for 300 km. Length of the coastline of the country 2470 km. The coastline in the north is dismembered by small bays, coast low, but rocky. To the south of the coast low, places boggy. There are natural harbors, Beira, Maputo, Heat, Pemba. The northern part of the country is occupied with plains of the East African Plateau. The highest point of the country, Mount Binga. Port Monte Binga. 2436 m high. Climate in the north of Mozambique, subequatorial, monsoonal, in the south, tropical, Pasatni. Average temperatures of January on the Mozambiquean lowland from 26 C to 30 C, July from 15 C to 20 C. On the plateau summer and winter temperatures are 3-5 C lower. Initially the territory of Mozambique was inhabited by tribes of the Bushmen and Hottentot which were engaged in hunting and collecting. In the 5-9 centuries tribes to Abo came. Since the 8th century the Arabs, who created a set of trading stations on the coast of the Indian Ocean, began to get into East Africa. Arabs took out gold, ivory, skins of animals. To the middle of the 15th century in a middle part of present Mozambique there was an early feudal state of Monomotapa. In 1498 the territory of Mozambique was visited by the Portuguese expedition going to India under Vasco da Gama's command. At the beginning of the 16th century Portuguese began to develop the coast of East Africa. In 1505 they constructed a fort in Sofala. In 1508, fortress on Mozambique Island. In the 1530th years, Ciegs forts and the Ont on the bank of the river of Zambezi. In 1558 the Fort San Sebastian, where the vessels going to India or from India stopped, was based and expeditions in search of gold went. Till 1572 the governor of Goa operated the territory of the Portuguese East Africa. In 1607 the governor Monomotopi, in which there were separatist tendencies of local leaders, signed with Portuguese the contract on a concession of gold and silver mines in exchange for weapon and support in fight against rebellious vassals. The strong points based in the 16th, 17th centuries by Portuguese served in Mozambique to them for development of trade with India. In 1752 the Portuguese possession in East Africa were officially announced by colony Mozambique. By the beginning of the 20th century Portugal conceded management of large territories of the colony to 3 private British companies: Mozambique Company, Zambezi Company and Nyassa Company. These companies constructed the railroads which connected Mozambique with the next colonies of Great Britain and provided deliveries of cheap labor to plantations and mines of the countries of the region. After World War II, Portugal didn't follow the example of other countries of Europe and didn't begin to provide independence to the colonies. They were announced by overseas territories, and the migration from the mother country continued. In the conditions of decolonization of the majority of the countries of the continent and growth of influence of national liberation movements on the international scene, in the Portuguese possession processes of political consolidation of opponents of the mode began. In 1962 several anti-colonial political groups united to the Front of Liberation of Mozambique, Frelimo, which in September 1964 initiated armed struggle against the Portuguese colonial power. From the very beginning the front supported close contacts with insurgent groups of Angola, Mali, and Guinea-Bissau. Baig. Frelimo, leaning on bases in Tanzania and support of the USSR, I conducted active fighting in northern regions of the country and I was able to hold party congresses in the under-control territory. However, in general military experts estimate an opposition result to the middle of the 1978 years as neutral. After a military coup in Portugal, known as Revolution of Carnations, Mozambique gained independence. It occurred on June 25, 1975. Marxist Frelimo, headed by the first president of Mozambique Samora Machel, renamed the country into the People's Republic Mozambique. I installed a one-party system with orientation to the countries of the socialist camp. I dismissed religious educational institutions. I dismantled a traditional control system with a support on leaders. I entered planned economy, which process was followed by the large nationalization, which is badly thought over by agrarian reform and exile of all Portuguese settlers that deprived the new country practically of all case of qualified specialists. The National Service of National Safety, headed by the General Toussaint Veloso, the Portuguese military pilot who in 1963 came over to the side of Frelimo, carried out Massachusetts political repressions, among which victims there were also former eminent persons of Frelimo, including the first vice-chairman Front of Urias Amango. With assistance of Southern Rhodesia and the Republic of South Africa in the country, the armed opposition to the mode led by André Matsangesa, Orlando Criskitano and Afonso Dhlakama was created. The right insurgent movement received the name the Mozambican National Resistance, Renamo. In the ideology of Renamo combined traditional African values and westernized orientation. In 1977 civil war, which was followed by the considerable victims among civilians, causing extensive damage to infrastructure, migration of a large number of refugees began. March 16, 1984, the President Samora Machel signed the Contract on Non-Aggression and Neighborliness with the Prime Minister of the Republic of South Africa Peter Botha. Contract Nkomati provided, except mutual non-aggression, failure to provide the territory for subversive activities minds any of contracting parties for a period of 10 years. However, military operations ended only in 1992 when the new president Joaquim Chissano declared refusal of Frelimo of Marxism-Leninism and transition of Mozambique to multi-party democracy. After signing of the peace treaty of Renamo became legal political party. Mozambican political life is based on opposition of Frelimo and Renamo. Afonso Dhlakama 5 times I ran for president, but steadily I lost 2 candidates of Frelimo, to Joaquim Chissano, Armando Guebuza, Philip Nyusi. However, Renamo possesses large parliamentary fraction and keeps paramilitary groups. Frelimo and Renamo rely substantially on various regional and ethnic groups of the country. After Afonso Dhlakama's death in May 2018, Ousufo Mohamed became the new leader of Renamo. In 2017, in the province of Cabo Delgado, Islamic terror became more active that led to a number of armed conflicts. Despite the achievements noted by the international community in economy, Mozambique continues to remain one of the poorest countries of the world. According to the constitution, the political system of Mozambique, the republic. The head of state, the president elected by the population for a 5-year term. The second term in a row is possible. Parliament, a unicameral meeting of the Republic, 250 deputies are elected by the population for a 5-year term. Today, in a condition of gradual degradation, funds for purchases of new arms, the country has no armed forces of Mozambique. All equipment of Mozambique, from deliveries of the USO to the 1970th, the 1980th, the most part of the Soviet equipment failed, and after the collapse of the USSR, arms supplies to Mozambique completely stopped. In 2017, the defense budget made 5.97 billion Mozambique meticais. Armed forces include Ground Forces, Air Force, AF, Navies, and as of 2018, 11200 people served in armed forces of Mozambique. Mozambique consists of 11 provinces which are divided into 128 districts. Population -28.8 million. Assessment on 2016. Annual gain -2.8%. Fertility -5.27 births on the woman. The 12th place in the world. Infantile mortality -72.42 for 1,000. The 13th place in the world. Average life expectancy is 51.85 years at men, 53.37 years at women, on average -52.6. The 214th place in the world, assessment for 2014. Contamination, a virus of an immunodeficiency. HIV. -10.75%. Assessment for 2013, the 8th place in the world. 82400 death from AIDS in a year, the 4th place in the world. Urban population -31.8%. In 2015. Ethnic structure, indigenous people of 99.66%. Nakua, Tsonga, Ilamba, Sen and so forth. Mulattoes of 0.2%, Indians of 0.08%, Europeans of 0.06%. Religions: Catholics -28.4%, Muslims -17.9%, Zionist Christians -15.5%, Protestants -12.2%, other religions -6.7%, atheists -18.7%. On a census of 2007. Literacy -50.6%. 67.4% of men and 36.5% of women. Assessment of 2009. According to a population census of 1997, Mozambicans rank themselves as the following faiths. We aren't religious. Probably, many in this group maintain traditional beliefs. -24.25%. Catholics -24.2%. Muslims -17.8%. Not Catholic Christians. Generally Protestants. -11. 45%. Assemblies of God, Methodologists, Anglicans, Nazarians, Adventists. Syncretic cults. Mix of various religions, for example, combining elements of Christianity and traditional African beliefs. -18.7%. Others -3.6%. According to the website World Gazetteer, in Mozambique there are 34 cities numbering more than 24,000 people. The largest cities. Maputo. Capital. -1. 174 million, Matola -899,000. 2014. Beira. 412,588 people. Nampula. 230,000 people. Inhambane. 150,000 people. Beyond. 100,000 people. Main ports. Beira Heat Quelimane. Natural resources: coal, titanium, tantalum, gas, hydraulic power. In the country extract coal. The largest mineral object in Mozambique is the coal basin of Motais. The Minas Motais Limitada Company, which is subsidiary of Beacon Hill Resources, owns leading enterprise of the pool. The Minas Motais mine at the time of his acquisition by head office extracted coal in the underground way. Coal differs in high hardness here. Development of fuel is conducted Brazilian also by the Indian investors. Production of coal at the Motais enterprise has to reach 20 million tons by 2021. Expansion of production will allow to reduce prime cost of the coked coal to $56 per T in 2022. In 2016 the volume of production was estimated at 4.2 million tons or 0.5% of world volume. After obtaining independence in 1975 and the civil war lasting till 1992, Mozambique became one of the poorest countries of the world. Then, thanks to the foreign help and establishment of a stable internal political course, economic growth began. However, the country still strongly depends on the foreign help. Mozambique remains first of all the agrarian state, more than 80% working or engaged in agriculture. At the same time 88% of fertile lands of the country remain raw. The significant damage to the country is caused by regular natural disasters. DDD per capita face value in 2016, about $400. The 181st place in the world. It is lower than the level of poverty, about 70% of the population. Agriculture. 81% working, 24% of DDD. Cotton, cashew, a sugarcane, tea, a cassava. Tapioca. Corn, cocos, sisal, citrus and tropical fruit, potatoes, sunflower. The cattle and a bird gets divorced. The industry. 6% working, 30% of DDD. Processing of agricultural products, drinks, soap, aluminum, textiles, cigarettes. Export. $58 billion. In 2017. Coke and coal. Up to 45% of the total cost. Aluminum minus 14%, oil products and natural gas minus 9.5%, tobacco minus 4.7%, cashew minus 2.3%, shrimps, cotton, sugar, a citrus, timber. Main buyers. India 35%, the Republic of South Africa 14%, China 7.5%, Italy 6.6%. In 2017. Import, $5.99 billion. In 2017. Products of mechanical engineering, vehicles, fuel, chemical products, food, textiles. Main suppliers. The Republic of South Africa 36%, China 11%, India 9.1%, Australia 7.2%, the Netherlands 7.1%. In 2017. The State Radio Company of Rearm. Radio Mozambique, Radio Mozambique. As the International radio station started in 1956, the state TV company Tatim. Televisão de Moçambique, Television of Mozambique. Has the TV channel of the same name. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.